Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, from Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, it's Monday, and you know what that means. It's time for another episode of the Raw Event Center. And now here's the man that will bring you all the wrestling action from Monday Night Raw, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans in 1977. I hope you guys had a wonderful night. I did somewhat, and I'll talk a little bit afterwards. But we got to get to what's going on Monday Night Raw. So yeah, fallout from SummerSlam Part 1, Part 2 will be on SmackDown. But NXT tomorrow will be getting ready for the Heat Wave. That's right, that's coming soon. We had a heat wave. We had a humongous heat wave this year. I think July happens to be one of the hottest months of the year this year. So yeah, okay. I got off a wonderful Portuguese feast. It was great. Ran to a lot of old friends there, and I forgot to tell my father that a former coworker of his says hi. So I ran into him there. So I need to keep that in mind. With everything going on, and like I said, it's been a crappy start to my August so far. The only good things that happened in the first weekend of August was the Red Sox sweeping the Astros, and they won again against Kansas City today. And I heard the Yankees lost too, so we're 2.5 games out of first. Red Sox are 2.5 games out of first place against the Toronto Blue Jays. Will the Blue Jays start to falter? That's what the Red Sox are hoping. Right now, the Red Sox got the momentum. I think it was a 6-game winning streak now, I think. So I know we had the Red Sox had a 10-game winning streak to end the first half of the season, and now 6-game winning streak. Can we go beyond 10-game winning streak? I don't know. We'll find out. But let's enough about baseball. We got to talk a little bit about wrestling. Monday Night Raw, SummerSlam Fallout Part 1, and I have to admit it was the most insane Raw I have ever watched. I'm like, whoa, so many crazy stuff happening and all that. Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman, the Oracle Paul Heyman, which cool nickname for him, kick off Monday Night Raw. And Seth Rollins addressed the Brooklyn crowd, shaming everybody for downing him and all that, and chanting CM Punk and all that. And he is now the World Heavyweight Champion. He says, I set out to do, this is the Vision. I think they're going to be known as the Vision. That would be... That's kind of quite the stable. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Seth freaking Rollins. And so, LA Knight interrupts Seth Rollins. LA Knight said, I was going to hurt you, but you faked the injury and all. But I'll tell you what. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to challenge you to a match since I did beat you at Saturday Night's Main Event. And then Seth Rollins goes, nah, not in Brooklyn. I figured out Clash in Paris, those two can go at it. But Adam Pearce says, wait a minute. Normally I would have, but how about this? Normally I would not, I would set the match later on and a later event, but you know what? This is not normal. The night after SummerSlam, let's make the title match. So Adam Pearce. But he said the fun part is Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker are banned from ringside. So there's that. The Judgment Day, we're talking about SummerSlam as Dominic Mysterio bragged about him retaining the Intercontinental title, and then Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez were pretty silent. He said, how about you, girl? Rousey, she was about to talk, and then Raquel Rodriguez goes, we're going to get our belts back. We're going to recover. Roxanne, let's get ready for that. So let's go. But then the LWO confronts them, and then Dragon Lee has challenged Dominic to a one-on-one matchup, which Dominic does accept. But then AJ Styles says, you know what, I'm not done with you yet. You were pretty clever, I'll give you that. But I'm not done taking that Intercontinental title. So that is what's going to happen down the road. In the house, the entire cast of Wednesday from Season 2 Wednesday is on Netflix, that show. And Joe Budden also was in attendance. And then Sheamus and Rusev, the former League of Nations stablemates, continue their fight where they left off. And it got to the point that they were both counted out and decided to continue fighting as officials, referees, agents. They're trying to stop the fight. And then they tried to, Sheamus tried to use the shillelagh. And Rusev tried to use the shillelagh. Sheamus gave him a bro kick. And they're still brawling. Meanwhile, Grayson Waller talks to the New Day. Speaking of the New Day, did you check out the hat on freaking Xavier Woods? What the heck did he get? What the heck is that kind of hat? I mean, I don't know what it is. He's trying to be like Kung Lao of freaking Mortal Kombat without the blades, you know? Like Kung Lao wearing a sombrero. Is that a sombrero? It's probably the biggest fedora I've ever seen. It's like, where the heck you get the heck that kind of hat? That's the kind of hat you would kind of wear in the freaking Kentucky Derby when you're going there. See the hat? It's like, dude, I'm like, dude, I can imagine what the Undertaker must be thinking, because he's, probably, I know Undertaker wears a lot of wide-brimmed hats. He's probably thinking, I know I wear a lot of wide-brimmed fedoras, but that one looks ridiculous on Xavier Woods. It's like part fedora, part sombrero. I don't know what the heck. They say they're still in mourning, which is too funny to even. But Xavier Woods wore this ridiculous hat. I'm like, what the heck? I gotta talk about the hat. I got to talk about the hat. The hat is like this big. I'm like, where did he get it? That's what I want to know. It's like you could wear the hat like a freaking umbrella, for goodness sakes. Like, forget an umbrella. Wear Xavier Woods' hat. That hat's so big you can wear it for an umbrella. An umbrella with no hands. Imagine that. Look, on no hands. Like, you'd be safe. You'd be safe from the rain without even holding an umbrella. Or better yet, use it as a frisbee or something, like a big old frisbee, dude. I mean, you think about. I'm like, that's a big old hat. It's like, I can imagine. I wonder what the Undertaker's reaction should be. Somebody should tweet the Undertaker. Hey, did you see Xavier's hat bigger than any of your hats you wore? What do you think of it? He probably, it's like somebody took one. It's like somebody took one of the Undertaker's hats and grew it 10 times bigger. You know what I mean? I don't know. The Undertaker's probably like, what the heck is he wearing? And he'll probably bust a gut laughing. I mean, even Michael Cole's like, what's with the hat? Look at the size of that hat. I'm like, Xavier Woods looks totally ridiculous with that hat. It's like a big old hat. It's the hat, man. I don't know what the heck is the hat. I was just like, what? It was on his head. No, it's an umbrella with no handles. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be great, perfect for rainy weather. You just walk around. Okay, how you dry? You're not holding an umbrella. Holding my hat. This big old hat. It's like, what kind of a hat? Where did he get that kind of hat? That's what I want to know. Must cost a lot of money, though. Has to cost a lot of mega bucks on that one. Seriously. Anyways, talking to the New Day, and it interrupts Pierce and Penta, and Grayson Waller, or Big G, as he likes to call himself, said, and he demanded that that the New Day will get their shot at the tag team titles. You have to earn your way back to the tag team titles. But since you interrupted me, I got a match against you, against Penta here. And then Grayson Waller, calls him Baldy and all that. And Penta looks at him, hey, cero miedo, right? So, anyways, so Penta and Grayson Waller had their matchup. The New Day show up at ringside, and Xavier Woods, that big old hat of his, and they decided to join on commentary. I'd be too busy laughing. If I was on commentary with the New Day, I'd be too busy pointing and laughing at Xavier Woods. I said, where the heck you kind of got that hat? What'd you do? Steal one of the Undertaker's hats and grew it 10 times bigger or something? Have a growing machine or something? I don't know, Anyways, Penta ended up winning the matchup after outsmarting Grayson Waller. Then the New Day tried to get in Penta's face, and Penta outsmarted them. He stood tall. He grabs Xavier Woods' hat and acts like, he's like, I'm cool. I'm a cool guy. I'm like, I would have done, you should give that hat to the Undertaker, man. Like, I mean, he'll done well. Where's the Undertaker? Where'd he go? That hat is so big. It could cover the Undertaker. That hat is so big. If you let a baby wear it and actually cover him up, That hat is so big you can protect 4 or 5 people from the rain, without using your hands, Anyways, so Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss were talking as they head to the ring, but then Sheamus and Rusev continue to brawl in the back while referees and security and officials try to break it up once again. And then Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair come out to address the Brooklyn Crown about being new women's tag team champions. Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez interrupt them and say, hey, we want a rematch. And Pierce comes out and says, you know what? Let's make the match happen. So they made the match happen, and Flair and Bliss retained the titles. Now, speaking of the women's tag team champions, Io Sky were talking to the Kabuki Warriors. Rhea Ripley said, I need to talk to you. He said, you went to Pierce for a rematch for the championship? Yes, and I'm going to get it. And I'm going to win the title, but you still... And she goes, I'm going to beat you. And he says, you still can't beat me. So there's that. Bayley was trying to find Lyra Valkyria. And Lyra Valkyria was looking for Bayley. And Lyra Valkyria goes, that's it. That's it. I've had enough, I'm not going to get a title shot again. We're not friends. We're not enemies. Stay out of my way. I got a hunch that a feud will be coming between those two ladies. So, and I get it, who knows? Lyra Valkyria may end up aligning herself with Becky Lynch. You never know. Anyways, Dragon Lee went one-on-one with Dominic Mysterio in a non-title matchup. And El Grande Americano could be the luchador version of Doink the Clown. Because the fact of the matter is, there's 2 more guys, 2 more Americanos masked up, distracting Dragon Lee, and Dominic Mysterio took advantage of that situation, won the matchup. I've got a feeling that if we know that this current El Grande Americano is Ludwig Kaiser and the original, Chad Gable, is hurt, I've got a hunch that the 2 Americanos in the middle of the ring could be, and I'm going to go a little bit of theory on this one, could be the new Catch Republic. And I get a hunch that when all of them unmask, you're going to see a new version of the Imperium between Ludwig Kaiser, the leader, Tyler Bate, and Pete Dunne. I think you're going to see a new version of Imperium coming out of that El Grande Americano situation. If you think about it, 3 different Americanos. You got El Grande Americano, you get 2 regular Americanos. I'm starting to think that the other 2 gentlemen got to be the new Catch Republic. We have not seen them on TV in quite a while, and I got a superior hunch it might be those 2, and if that's the case, you're going to see a new version, and once they all unmask, you're going to see a new version of Imperium. And I think Tyler Bate's been a face since ever he came to the WWE. He's never been a heel once, so I'm thinking this could be a good change for Tyler Bate, if that's the case. I'm telling you right now, you're going to, like I said, when the Americanos unmask, you're going to see a whole new version of Imperium with Ludwig Kaiser leading the way. And if Gunther comes back, he rejoins it. Because Gunther is hurt. Come to find out he suffered a nosebleed and everything else. He'll be out for a while. So, with that, I think Ludwig Kaiser could be leading this new and improved Imperium with the new Catch Republic at his side. Interesting situation. And also, we haven't heard nor hear of Ilya Dragunov either. So, that's something to look out for. Maybe he'd be the 4th member. I don't know. I don't know what the heck is going on around here. And then AJ Styles decided to fight Dom after the matchup as well. And Dom retreats. And then Jackie Redmond interviews Sami Zayn. The story here with Karrion Kross and Scarlett is they were not at Raw tonight, and they were not part of a storyline or anything like that at the moment. And their contracts are going to be up this weekend. So we don't know if the WWE decided to offer them a new deal or what the story is. If Karrion Kross and Scarlett go, I got a hunch they may go back to TNA. But don't be surprised if they end up showing up at AEW. But in the end, fans want to see them, and I'm kind of hoping that the WM. But Braun Strowman said WWE doesn't care about the fans because they care about butt kissing nepo babies or something like that. So we'll see what happens. This could be another R-Truth situation with Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Who knows? And then Jackie Redmond, the lovely Jackie Redmond, I love Jackie Redmond, interviewed Sami Zayn, who put that behind him and said, Kross and Scarlett behind me. Review me, I want to go after the world title. But then they were both interrupted by Sheamus and Rusev brawling. So Sami Zayn decided, well, I'm going to stop this. And he tried to stop it. He gets punched by Rusev, and he starts getting upset with Rusev. And Security's holding him back, and he says, man, what was that? So that's a big deal. In attendance, Method Man, Dave East, Da Vinci, and Adam Blackstone. But then Becky Lynch, once again, the still reigning and defending Women's Intercontinental Champion, came out to address the Brooklyn crowd. And she says more opportunities for other women back there since I don't have to worry about facing Lyra, Valkyria anymore. She's in the back burner. So Nikki Bella comes out of all people and ran them out. She said, now you're a big, I thought, the division would be good in hands, but I'm starting to get disappointed in you. What? And then they started arguing. They said, now you're just the biggest liar like your husband. I'm like, oh. And then he said, don't talk about my hot husband and all. And then she goes, well, we'll be saying for you and and then she goes, you can't see him anymore. I'm like, she went there, and Nikki Bella's like, okay, you want to go there, huh? I'll tell you what. And she goes, she challenged Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental title, and the reason why I did not face you is because she straight up punches Nikki Bella, knocks her down, and then Becky Lynch just walk away. By the way, she's got new theme music. On the whoa, all that good stuff. So, and Byron Saxton interviewed Naomi, and Naomi said she's defending her title against Io Sky next week. But Stephanie Vaquer interrupted Naomi and said that Clash in Paris, I'm getting that championship. And she goes, you better come to the ring, and I can stick those horns so straight up your butt, your behind, you're going to be limping. And I'm going, oh boy. And so Becky Lynch was coming to the back, and Natalya confronted her and said, what was that? You disrespected. And then they used to be friends, and they started getting each other's face, and said she's challenged him to a match. Becky Lynch accepted, but it will be against Maxine Dupree. Becky Lynch, I don't know what she's thinking. Maxine Dupree did not answer made a challenge. It was Natalya. Like Becky Lynch, man, I'm telling you. Anyways, you guys, excuse me. It's almost bedtime for me. I gotta get this video done over it and get uploaded. Yeah, so I was hoping that Natalya would fight Becky Lynch, then would bring Natty out. The one that's been fighting Monster Slamovich, beat Monster Slamovich in GCW, went into the NWA, gave Kenzie Page a run for her money, and then promised Braxton in Reality Wrestling. Who knows who Natty was going to face. So anyways, the World Heavyweight title on the line, Seth Rollins versus LA Knight. Rollins had the match in hand until CM Punk attacked Rollins during the matchup, giving Rollins the win by disqualification. But then LA Knight was not very happy, yanking Punk off Rollins. And then Braun Breaker spears Punk, and Reed attacks LA Knight after the matchup. And then the three men and Heyman stood tall. They're about to walk out of the ring. Here comes Roman Reigns. Superman punches Bronson Reed. He's fighting off members of the Division, in this case Breaker and Reed. And then Breaker and Reed overtake him. Rollins stomps him, and then Reed splashes Reigns about 3 times. And steals another pair of Roman Reigns' sneakers. What's up with that now? The Shula Fala. Oh my goodness. Well, anyways, I want to address, I'm going to make an apologies to the folks over at the YouTube Renegades Facebook chat, Chayton and everyone, and Dragon and everyone else there. I have specifically requested that no references be made of me during live streams. Like I know Bofus wasn't on today; it was postponed, but I don't worry about Bofus as much, even though they like roast me and stuff, because I only appear in live chats. I won't appear in live chats there. The Raw live reactions, the any of the David 3000 shows, the House and Chayton shows, Rant and Rave, and Chill Majority. Those 7 podcasts I will not be involved in for the entire month. Either live chats or panel wise. Okay, I specifically did ask that no references of me being made, whether AI or in live chats or anything like that. I want because I decided to take this sabbatical very, very seriously. And when I was checking out before I was booted from the group, I was checking it because the last time I went on the YouTube Renegades Facebook chat, there was a picture of David on as a priest, but I did not know they changed it to Lima being on a race car bed, so I angrily demanded that they change it because I don't want any references of me. I'm taking this sabbatical very, very seriously. So, and Jayton told me, oh, it's a Brandon, and because of my stupid phone refuses to update the messenger, and my phone and messenger is not working properly. I don't know what's up with that. It wasn't updating properly, prompting me to be angry that, and also prompted me to call Chayton a liar, which I did not know. And then I said, never mind, you guys did this. And then I saw the picture of Brandon. I said, never mind, you guys could change it. My apology. So I do apologize to Chayton, Dragon, and the folks over at the YouTube Renegades chat. And then I specifically told them, hey, this is my last time chatting on here. I'm going to be off for a month. So I'm taking this sabbatical like very, very seriously to the point where they did boot me off the group, which I don't mind because I rarely go on there anyways. So I really don't mind. So I figured it's my last time chatting on there for a while because I'm taking this. So any Facebook group chats that I'm part of, I'm not going to be going on for this whole entire month, just the entire month of August. But I did make my final appearance for the match game thing tonight. I fulfilled that, so no more live chats for the rest of the month. I will be staying out. So, like I said, I do appreciate the fact please respond to my please honor my request. That's all I ask, folks. I do apologize to Chayton and the rest of the folks there in Unity YouTube Renegades chat. I've taken this. I decided to dedicate taking things a lot more serious than it is now. I could say strike one, but like I said, my El Phono won't update. El stupido Phono, So it's driving. Sometimes technology can drive me crazy. In fact, Netflix stopped in the middle of Raw. I was like, what the heck? I had to refresh it and everything. Refresh Netflix and everything, man. It's crazy. So, but I think the funniest moment is Xavier Woods' hat. Also, the biggest diss of the night will have to go with Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella. Oh boy! And I think the craziest moment of Monday Night Raw, let it go. Sheamus and Rusev brawling all over the place. So, and the most wackiest moment of the night would that be El Grande Americano and his 2 Americano friends. That's why I said so. But I might be on to something with that. So, that will be the case. So, again, apologies to the folks over YouTube Renegades. It won't happen again because you can tell my stupid phone that, or else I'll punch my stupid phone right out. It's already got cracks in it, for goodness sakes. So that's all the time we have on the show. Raw. So tomorrow we got NXT High Rollers. I will continue to do commercials for Rant and Rave. Just commercials. Just commercials. That's the only time I'm going to reference Rant and Rave. Do the commercials. I'll just have to say after the commercial, just watch their show and everything else. So that's all I gotta say. You know, this month already sucks, if you ask me. That's how I feel about August. The only highlight of August so far, Red Sox winning and the Portuguese piece. Everything else, straight down the Bemis, ladies and gentlemen. So, I will see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful rest of your night. And until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home.
That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and do it for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.